Hello, hello. Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here. How are you guys? Great to have you back. Hope everyone is well. We have a few more people joining. Okay. So, an official welcome to Stop Abandoning Yourself, why you keep choosing everyone else before you. Now, if you are here, you already did something that shows that you are not willing to abandon yourself anymore. Showing up for yourself tonight and saying, hey, okay, let me see, why am I abandoning myself and what can I do about it? This is the greatest step towards stopping abandoning yourself, and I truly want to honor that. Hola, hi Ricardo, great to see you. It's your first time, great. Hola Noel, great to know that everything is good on your end. Great to have you. Okay, so I just want to share that tonight I not only come as your facilitator, but as a champion in self-abandonment. Okay, so I don't come here to teach you something that I have not experienced myself. Actually, what started my journey was hitting burnout multiple times because I was abandoning myself consistently. So I would always have a calendar full with other people's needs, wants, and I would always give freely my time, my energy, my money, my help. So I never, and when I say never, I don't say it lightly, I would never, as an adult, until I started this journey and worked on myself, would ever prioritize myself. I would always have other people, their needs, their problems, their wants, and I would treat them as if they are the most important person in my life. So tonight I want to help you shift the paradigm a bit because honestly, truthfully, you are the most important person in your life, not other people. And what I mean by that, and why I want you to take this seriously, is because you, and I'm looking in the camera, I'm looking into your soul, you are the only person who will be with you 24/7 every single day of your life, okay? From the moment you are born till the moment we transition, nobody else will be there 24/7. Do you get that? Which means your number one responsibility is you, okay? Not other people, okay? And I want you to understand this because once you understand this, oh, so these people that I'm helping, these people that I'm prioritizing, they're truly not even there for the whole journey. That's the truth. And I want you to honor that because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now, I want you to take a look at this picture because I created this specifically to help you understand what's happening when you abandon yourself. So your life, the project called you, the person who you will be spending 24/7 for the rest of your life, okay? This is your relationship with yourself. So you have, just like a house, you have a foundation, and that foundation can be solid or that foundation can be shaky, okay? And then you have your house, which has multiple rooms and involves different aspects of your life, right? Now, here's the challenge. Every single time you abandon yourself, you are removing a brick from your foundation. And self-abandoning doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen in one moment where you prioritize someone else. Those bricks get pulled out and they compound. So, every single time you abandon yourself, more bricks from the foundation, from the relationship, from the most important relationship you have and you will ever have in your life, which is with yourself, that foundation, it's becoming shaky, okay? To the point where if you remove enough bricks, that house can collapse. And as I was sharing, for those of you who just joined, I myself have been a champion at abandoning myself to the point where I actually collapsed the foundation. So every single time I've experienced burnout, counting 3, and I stopped. Now I stopped. Okay. I became very curious to understand what was wrong with me, because even if I noticed after my first burnout, I noticed what I was doing. I noticed I was putting other people first. I noticed I was giving every minute of my day to helping someone else. And I would never prioritize 5 minutes to help myself. And so I realized once I collapsed my foundation, the house went to crumbles. I had to rebuild. And I became very curious to understand, first of all, what caused the crash so that I can prevent it from ever crashing again. Okay. So I want to welcome you today and for you to understand that this is not self-improvement. What we are doing today, it's not about making yourself better. Today, it's actually helping you see how you have become loyal to everyone around you and how you can become loyal to the first person, okay, to the foundation, to the first person in your life, the person who deserves priority in your life before anyone else. Why? Because the relationship you have with yourself, it's actually the one that it's, in a way, creating every single relationship in your life. If you criticize yourself, you'll criticize others. Others will criticize you. If you don't value yourself, nobody will value you, or they will pretend to value you. So every relationship, it's a mirror of the relationship you have with yourself. That's why we want to build a stable home and a stable foundation so that the mirrors that come into our life reflect exactly that. And I feel like sharing, this is definitely for someone, if I feel inspired to share this. What I want you to know is that every single failed friendship, relationship, work relationship, every single failed interaction in your life has been the result of a specific pattern of self-abandonment, okay? Of self-abandonment. And even if you change the relationship, that pattern stayed in you. And that's why you met new people, and in the end, the same scenario, in a way or another, kind of rolled out again. Now, drop a yes in the chat if you feel like you had this experience where you have repeated the same patterns, but with new people, and you couldn't understand why. Now, most people think that this self-abandonment happens in one moment. I abandon myself now and it's done. It's usually not like that. You abandon yourself in small moments that compound, and over time, you are signaling to your nervous system, my needs don't matter. I don't matter. What I want doesn't matter. My truth is not welcome here. And once you get to that place, it's very difficult to believe otherwise, because now those become your running programs in the background, okay? Just reading through the comments, okay? There is said, yes, unfortunately, Huda, yes, Gemma, yes, Samsung, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I want you to see how this happens, okay? One ignored need at a time. One swallowed truth. So you want something, you want to speak something, you don't feel safe to do so, you keep it inside, okay? You remove one more brick from your foundation. You don't want to say yes, however, you keep saying yes, you remove one more brick from your foundation. One moment when you choose peace, so you know speaking your truth will create conflict, you remove one more brick from your foundation, okay? So the way you are abandoning yourself is one brick at a time. This is how you do it, okay? And what's happening is over time, those bricks that you have removed compound, and if you are not careful to put some bricks back on, that foundation will become shaky and that house can collapse, okay? So this house that I showed you is the house we build with ourselves. And if you don't have a solid foundation with yourself, every single relationship will shake you. Every single relationship will take you in whatever direction, okay? So I want you to be honest with yourself right now and share in the chat if you feel comfortable to do so. If you've ever looked at your life after experiencing all kinds of relationships where you abandoned yourself one way or another, and you looked at yourself and you asked, I don't know how I got here. It's like, why am I repeating this all over again? Why am I repeating this all over again? And I can give you a very clear example with my relationships where I would tolerate disrespect. I would stay longer than I had to. I would silence my own needs. So I wouldn't feel safe to communicate my needs because I thought they're not important, they don't matter, nobody will take them into consideration. So then what's the point, right? And so I had been in this kind of relationships, kind of repeating the same pattern over and over again, which led me to the burnout I was mentioning. And then I started looking, how did I get here? And how did I get here multiple times? Because this pattern kept repeating year after year in my life. And I was trying to figure out what's going on, okay? M says, I'm there now. Thank you for sharing, M. Mike says, not really. I know exactly how I got here. Great, Mike. I'm happy for you. Jen says, yes. Hi, Jen. Samsung, yes, yes all the time. Gemma, yes. Care to a traumatized addict. But I was a carer to my addict parents, so it makes sense. Thanks for sharing that, Em, and being so vulnerable. It makes sense, yeah. There says, not aware that I had to because I paid attention to others. Great awareness right there. Okay. Natalie, she says she's in a burnout because ignored all the warnings of the body, collapsed, rushed to the hospital. I can relate to what you shared, Natalie. I'm sorry you're going through this. If there's one thing I've learned from 3 burnouts, and one was extreme, similar to your experience, is that when we don't listen, the body will force us to listen at some point in one way or another. Either we get to the hospital, either something happens. Your body, when keeps screaming, hello, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear what I need? Can you provide what I need? The more we keep ignoring, at some point, the body pulls the emergency, pulls the emergency button. And that's when we are forced into stopping and reflecting and looking at what we are actually doing, okay? Thank you guys all for sharing. So today, for those of you who just joined, I am not just your facilitator, but I am also someone who has been, as I was sharing, a master at self-abandonment. And I've learned the hard way. So it wasn't me having an awakening and saying, how can I stop abandoning myself? I was forced into learning about this because after the 3rd burnout, I said, I never want to experience this again. And I don't want anyone else to experience this again because it was horrible. Okay. So we are going to explore 3 questions today. How do we abandon ourselves? There are specific ways you are abandoning yourself right now, okay? Now, the second one will be the most interesting one, and I will give you the exact sequence. Why did your nervous system learn to do this? Why is your nervous system guiding you to abandon yourself and prioritize everyone and everything else but you, okay? This is going to be the section that I'm hoping you will give you a big breakthrough, and it will help you see what's actually happening underneath the surface. And the 3rd question we are going to answer tonight, how do we begin coming home again? So I will be guiding you towards the end, so stick till the end, through a gentle recalibration so that you can create a bit of space to reconnect with yourself and to listen to your unique guidance about how you can put one brick back today. Okay, so we have a code of honor for this session. No distractions. Now, I want to be honest and I want you to know how important it is that you showed up. across platforms for this specific sessions, we had a few hundred people joining, signed up, okay? And just you guys made it here tonight, okay? So you already took a very difficult step tonight to actually sit with yourself. This is not small. People do not have capacity to do this anymore. They would rather random scroll, watch Netflix, do something else. This is becoming increasingly difficult. So I want you to put any distractions away and trust that if you manage to show up, you are here for a reason, okay? You're ready to change, and this is the first act of you returning to yourself. Say, hey, okay, this is not going well, so I need to shift something, okay? Second, 100% presence. This is about you becoming aware that your thoughts are designed to wander, and they wander like clouds in the sky to the past, who hurt you, what happened, where you abandoned yourself, and to the future, what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do later, and so on and so forth. So your mission throughout this hour we are going to spend together, snap your fingers, bring yourself back every single time you notice you're drifting away, okay? Because again, even presence is becoming increasingly difficult because we are bombarded with overstimulation and our brain is losing capacity to focus and stay on a subject for longer periods of time, okay? 100% participation. Now, this is something that I love to say. What you put in, that's what you get out of this session. So I will never force you to participate. However, the more you participate, the more you are telling your nervous system, hey, it is safe to speak your truth. It is safe to share your truth. And as you can see in this beautiful collective we are today, you are not alone, okay? So the struggles you are going through right now are not singular. Some other people are going through it as well. And together we can focus on finding a solution, okay? Now, I want you to see the missing bricks, okay? Because each and every single one of you has specific missing bricks right now, okay? And I want you to reflect which brick might actually be missing from your life right now, okay? The brick of honesty, and I'm here to raise my hand. I was missing all these bricks and I was missing them chronically, okay? The brick of honesty, not in the sense that I was not an honest person, but in the sense that every single time something wasn't going right and something didn't feel right, I would not vocalize it. And this went for my romantic relationships, my friendships, my workplaces, and I would just keep quiet to keep peace because this pattern has kept me alive in the past, and I believed that if I just keep quiet, I will be okay. The second one was intuition, and I've overridden my intuition for longer than I would love to admit, okay? My intuition has been screaming in so many scenarios, don't go there, don't do that, don't sign the contract, don't stay longer in this job. And I would keep overriding it using my mind to make decisions. And I would say, no, it's nothing. It's just my mind. And every single time I was proven wrong. So my intuition was just telling me ways to keep me safe. And because I was not in tune with that voice and I was more connected to my logical brain, I would ignore it, make the wrong choices, and then get the consequences, because every single time you don't listen to your intuition, you pay the bill afterwards, okay? Now, another brick that was missing completely from my life is rest, and I'm not even kidding. So I've pushed my body to the point of exhaustion, so my 3 burnouts were brutal. And when I say brutal, I don't say that lightly, okay? For years in a row, I have been functioning on 3 hours, 2 hours, no sleep, and continuously working, pushing, achieving, traveling. So I've traveled over 45 countries, attended and worked for hundreds of seminars all over the world, learned and exhausted myself with no specific breaks. And I would always make sure that everyone is taken care of, that events go well, that everyone is looked after, that everybody has what they need, and I couldn't care less about myself. So rest for me was optional, not something that it's part of the human experience, okay? And I had to pay a big price for this missing brick, okay? The other brick that was missing was need. I didn't want to be a burden. So I've learned very early in my life that being a burden and expressing my needs was met with resistance, was met with criticism. Having an older brother that was getting a lot of stuff, he was the favorite in our family, had me vocalize my needs because I could see there was a difference in what he was getting and what I was getting. And every single time I would vocalize my needs, I would be dismissed, I would be cut off, I would be made believe that my needs don't matter. And so I believed that I will be a burden if I continue to vocalize my needs. So I shut that down. I removed a brick from my foundation. And I put it last there, but I think it's actually the first one that has been removed from my system, the brick of worth. What I need can wait. Worth means believing that you deserve to be somewhere, that you deserve to exist, that you deserve to be taken in consideration, that you deserve to belong. And what happens with us as humans when we don't believe we are worthy is that we will do all kinds of wonders to prove that we deserve to belong somewhere. And so this is what I did, because my environment from an early age pointed out that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of gifts. I'm not worthy of care. I'm not worthy of presence. I'm not worthy of appreciation. I'm not worthy of affection. And so what that signaled to me is that, oh, I'm not worthy. So what I need is not important. So let me focus on what you need. And that has been the overall theme of my life until I consciously shifted that. Now, I want you to be very honest in the chat and share which one do you feel like you are missing mostly right now, okay? It can be all of them. It can be other bricks that I haven't mentioned here. Which one do you feel like you kind of removed and you are not looking at it? You don't take it in consideration. You don't care about it right now. Okay, Derry says honesty. Thank you for sharing, Derry. May says need. Mike says honesty, then worth. Okay, beautiful. Intuition, says Jen. Great awareness. Aime says honesty and needs. Sajni says intuition and worth. Fiona says need. CM, worth and need. That's great awareness right there. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Natalie says rest, work, need, intuition. Great awareness, Natalie. Annie says honesty, even though I'm an honest person. I'm with you, Annie. I know what you mean. Noel says need and worth. M says no idea. That's okay. Self-honesty. Beautiful. Thank you guys for sharing. Now, the brick of honesty is very important. And again, when I say that you might be missing the brick of honesty, it's not that you are not an honest person. Actually, you might be one of the most honest persons you know, okay? What's happening is there's a protective mechanism that has been within you that now believes that keeping quiet actually protects the relationships, protect the other people, protect everything that's happening. And so in a sense, keeping quiet, it's a way of avoiding conflict. Now, the brick of I don't want to be a burden, again, it's a very important one, has been formed in childhood as well. And you have picked up cues from your environment that speaking up, asking for what you need, can be met with resistance. So instead of risking another disappointment, you would rather just keep your mouth shut, ignore your needs, and push through, okay? Now, the problem with all of this is that they all come with a cost, okay? Now, the brick of rest, and again, coming back to my own experience that I had to learn, I was forced to learn all of this, okay? Because I needed to figure out what was happening with my life. I would prioritize every single one of these people. So if I was sick, if I was unwell, if I was exhausted, and somebody had a problem, I would be there. I couldn't care less about the state of my mind, body, and spirit. All I was focused on is going and helping everyone else. And intuition, it's probably nothing, right? Now, I want you guys to be honest and tell me if you have overridden your intuition, if you know the sound of your intuition, if you know the warnings of your intuition and say, don't go there, don't do that, don't stay in this relationship, don't stay more in this job. And you said, probably is nothing. Let me just stay because they pay well, or let me just stay because breaking up is difficult, or let me just stay because maybe I won't find anyone else. I'm curious to see your experience. Okay? Okay, right, great. So Samsung says, every time. Ricardo says, always. Ems, I keep ignoring what I know is right for me. That's a great awareness, Em. That's how we can start changing it, okay? Gemma says, yes, and I suffer for it. Thanks for sharing that, Gemma. As I was sharing, it comes with the cost. Fiona says, and some, then some. Thanks for your honesty. Okay. Sajni says, I also ignore all the signs. Okay. Mike says, totally, I spend hours debating and trying to work out what to do, but tend not to do it. Great awareness. So we need that awareness, because without the awareness, we cannot change anything. And Jan says, had all of them. If I had trusted my intuition, I would not have lost everything. That's great awareness, Jan. Now, from my own experience, life teaches us lessons because we don't listen. So it's difficult why we go through the lesson, but our body, our life is showing us, hey, I'm giving you all the signs and you are not listening. Can you begin listening now? Okay, so sorry guys. So I want you to understand that every single brick you have removed from your house, from your foundation, it's actually affecting every single area of your life, okay? And the brick of worth, what I need can wait, okay? This is where you silence your needs in relationships. Maybe you need in a job, you need a pay raise, or you need less overtime, or you need more respect from your boss, or you need, I don't know, less pressure, less work, right? But you keep shutting it down because you don't believe you are worthy of a higher pay. You don't believe you are worthy of less work. You don't believe you are worthy. So you feel like you need to prove your worth. So whatever you need, you say, oh, I will wait until next month. I will wait until next 6 months. And you keep postponing because you believe that what you need is not important, or that you are not worthy to get what you actually need, okay? Now, very important for you to lock this in. Self-abandonment is not one decision you make, okay? It's literally thousands of tiny ones that compound. Every single brick you remove from your foundation, that all these bricks removed create self-abandonment. So it's not one decision, not one action, it's thousands of little tiny ones, okay? Now, honesty moment. I want you to check in with yourself, be honest, and share in the chat which one feels more familiar to you right now. Saying yes when you mean no, staying quiet about your needs, ignoring your body signals, you're exhausted or your intuition is telling you to move and you don't, putting everyone first. Which one is yours? And as the champion of self-abandonment, for me, they were all four. I have to mention that. Okay. May says B, MC, Noel says B, Samsung A, Mike, all of them, Natalie, all four, Huda, all of them, Fiona, all of them, CM, okay, C and D, A and D says Corey, Sajni says A and C, Gemma, all of them, Salam says D. Okay, and Derry doesn't see any letters. Derry, you can just say which one from the list resonates most with you, if that helps. Oh, you don't see the PowerPoint. Can you guys share in the chat? Can you all see the PowerPoint? Okay, okay. So Derry, it seems to be a challenge on your end. So you can try to log in again or use another device. You should be seeing it. I'm not sure why you're not seeing that, but it might be with your device. So try and check and see if there's any setting on there in the view mode so that you can see the whole screen. Beautiful. Okay, we don't want to leave anyone behind. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. Now, every single act of self-abandonment, taking one brick from the foundation of your relationship, costs. And you guys shared beautifully in the chat how it costs. It costs in burnout, it costs in losing everything, it costs in getting to the hospital, it costs in your body saying, I cannot sustain this no more. So I just want you to see that it's not removing one brick that collapses the house. It's actually months and years of you overriding your needs, your voice, your intuition, yourself, eventually. So you removed so many bricks that now the structure is unstable and the house is shaking, okay? And the house might even collapse. So when it feels like everything is collapsing in your life, that's a sign that you removed so many bricks that the house doesn't have a foundation to sit on anymore, okay? And the good part is that you can rebuild the house, okay? So there's a good side to it. So I want you to look at the picture again, okay? Because imagine if we continue to take bricks from this foundation, this whole beautiful house will collapse, okay? Now, imagine that even as it is in this picture right now, if there is an earthquake, share in the chat, do you think this house will survive? Because life kind of brings us earthquakes. Sometimes we lose our jobs, sometimes we lose our health, sometimes something happens, we lose someone we love. So life will bring us earthquakes. And if the foundation is shaky, that house might collapse anyways, because we have removed so many bricks, we don't even know how to be with ourselves anymore, okay? Now, this is how we get to people who say, I don't really know who I am anymore. I don't really know what's going on in my life. I don't trust myself to continue. It's because you remove so many bricks, okay, that at some point you don't recognize the house anymore, okay? Okay, I was just reading through the comments. Guys, please be nice. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so yes, it might be time to rebuild it. And if you are here, that's a sign that you are already starting the process, okay? Now, as I was sharing, that relationship with yourself has been becoming shaky one brick at a time. You have eroded that relationship with yourself brick by brick. Now, it's not your fault, and it's not because you don't love yourself. It's because you learned that staying connected to others will keep you safe, and you believe that connection to self is not as important. Now, why do we remove these bricks? There is a very specific sequence that happened in our life that made so many of us remove those bricks, okay? Those bricks are not removed because you don't love yourself. And you might not love yourself. But the reason why you do it, it's actually very specific, okay? You learned at a very early age how to remove bricks to begin with because you had an original need, belonging, okay? Now, as humans, this is our primary need. We need to know that we belong somewhere. And at the deepest levels, we are wired for connection. Even if you say, I'm fine by myself, I can believe you and I cannot, because we are wired for connection, okay? Now, here's the deal. As children, belonging is not optional, okay? You have a caregiver, right? Your parents or the caregiver you had, and there was not an option for you not to belong because you could not provide for yourself. You could not feed yourself. You needed someone to buy you clothes. You needed someone to provide for you. You needed someone to teach you how to do things. And so as kids, we don't have an option. We need to belong because if we don't belong, how will we survive? Okay? So I want you to really notice this, because as children, we didn't have any option. We had to belong, and that meant survival, okay? And so for us as children, being connected to whoever was around meant safety. If I have someone around me, they can look after me, they can meet my needs. So what's happening is your nervous system at a very early age starts asking a very specific question. What do I need to do to stay connected? And your system is so intelligent, it's collecting information every single day from your environment, okay? And so the moment we learned connection conditions, that's the moment the nervous system starts removing bricks. So you started removing bricks from your foundations at a very early age, okay? So very early in your journey, you have learned either directly or indirectly that maybe your emotions were too much. Think of moments where you were crying, your parents couldn't handle that, and they were shouting at you to stop. Or when you were too excited and your parents were shouting for you to stop. Or when you wanted something and your parents dismiss it continuously, right? Or when you expressed a need and maybe they didn't have the money to provide it, or maybe they didn't want to provide it, or maybe they couldn't provide it. Again, what you learned, what your system learned, is some specific things. Oh, my needs create difficulty, okay? Now, when you were honest and you said maybe what happened at school or what happened with someone in an interaction, or you were honest about what you need, what you want, they maybe started shouting. You didn't have to do this, you had to do this and had to do that. So you learned that honesty is not safe, and as a child I cannot afford to lose that connection, so I'd rather keep my mouth shut so they can continue to feed me because I'm a child. I don't have anyone to feed me, right? My difference creates disconnection. So if you are different, if you are manifesting in a way that your parents were not expecting, were not especially keen to have in their surroundings, you had to alter your behavior again, because as children, we learn that if we behave in a way that adults don't like, we will lose connection. And if you express your feelings, I'm hurt because you brought to my brother or my sister more than you brought to me, right? And I say this, and then they argue, right? They fight and they say, shut up or keep your mouth shut or whatever. The message we get again is my feelings don't matter. My feelings are inconvenient. So because we had no option, okay, but I am tied to this family. I'm tied to this caregiver because until I will be 18, I depend on these people, right? I cannot feed myself. I cannot provide for myself. And so I need to adapt to survive and stay in connection. So the kid learned something very smart. So I just want you to see that everything that happened in your life, it's actually very smart, okay? The kid notices, when I am this version of myself, when I don't complain, I don't share my needs, I don't know, maybe I'm not too loud, and I behave like this, connection feels easier. So they don't argue with me, they don't fight. Interesting. So the kid learns to adapt because now it's learning how to avoid conflict, how to avoid friction, how to avoid losing connection, okay? And this is where the danger begins. What I called the adaptation. This is where we start editing ourselves. So instead of being that beautiful, joyful kid you were, now you become hyper vigilant and in tune to what your caregivers need and how they're behaving. And so instead of just being you, now you're, okay, so I need to say this, and I need to keep my mouth shut here, and I need to stop complaining about this. Right? And I just want you to see that everything your nervous system did is brilliant, actually, okay? It created strategies, and the reason was I cannot afford to lose connection, okay? So even if people around you, your caregivers, were not nice to you, you had to be, in a sense, somehow nice to them because you are depending on them, okay? Now, a lot of things happen when a child does all of this. It starts to read the room, anticipate needs, Avoid conflict, knowing exactly how to avoid conflict. Becoming helpful, oh, let me do this, even if you don't want to do it, because no, you know that will keep you safe. You become responsible and you become the strong one, okay? Now, the original intention, the reason why you did all of this, I am protecting connection. So at the core, the child, the inner child in you, all your child wanted was to protect that connection with the caregivers because it had no options. So there was no negotiables. Oh, I have to be my authentic self and then risk not getting food for the next 5 days, right? Now, here's the problem. Because you now edited yourself for so long, that pattern has become identity, okay? And this is where it becomes really tricky because that strategy helped you as a kid. But as soon as you became an adult, you got permission. It's just that nobody told you. But I'm here to tell you now, as soon as you got out of that environment, good or bad, it doesn't matter how it was, you could have stopped editing yourself, but you are not conscious that you kept editing yourself because now it has become your identity. So by 18, it was already your identity. So what once helped you belong now feels like it's who you are, but it's not who you are, okay? So this is what's happening underneath, and that's why we don't see it. You don't think now, I learned to suppress my needs. So when you are 18, you are not thinking, oh, actually, when I was 7, I learned to suppress my needs. No, you now think as an adult, I'm just someone who doesn't need much, or I'm just someone who doesn't, just wants to give to someone else, which is not specifically true because we all had needs, okay? We don't think I learned to keep everyone happy. What we truly think is, I'm just a caring person. But that adaptation, once it becomes identity, it feels like it's who you are, okay? So here's what's happening. There's two sides of the same coin that are operating. So part of you says, I'm tired, I don't want this doesn't feel right, your intuition, I need something. And then another part of you says, shh, don't create problems, don't disappoint them, just keep going, okay? Now, can you see how there are two parts of the same coin? And these parts of the same coin are kind of in conflict. So I'm tired, but I cannot create problems. I have to push through. I don't want to do this, but if I do this, it might create conflict. So let me just do it. This doesn't feel right, but I just don't want to disappoint them. I need something. Let's just keep going and ignore that, okay? Now, there is a conflict between self-protection and self-loyalty, okay? Now, we start removing these bricks every single time you ignore the signal. Your body's saying, but I don't want to do this. Your body's saying, not today. Your body says, I'm tired. But you ignore the signal. You dismiss the need. Your body says, I don't want to go tonight. Your body says, I don't want to work tomorrow. You dismiss it. Your body says, I need this person to respect me. But you don't vocalize it. We betray the truth. We silence the boundary. We remove another brick. So this is how we do it, not because we want to consciously do it. It's because this pattern has become our identity and we don't know how to do it differently, okay? So automatically, we choose, in a sense, the low-hanging fruit. In a sense, your system is saying, what's familiar? Ignore the signal. What's familiar? Dismiss what you need. What's familiar? Betray the truth. That's what we do, right? What's familiar? Don't say what boundary you need, because that might create conflict. What's familiar? Don't express your truth, okay? And that's how we remove brick by brick. Now, here's the consequence. We lose our self-respect. We lose our self-trust, our self-respect, our self-belonging. And this is the part people very often miss, okay? Because the consequence is not exhaustion. It is exhaustion. It's some exhaustion too. And there might be some resentment too. But what's happening at the core is I don't trust myself anymore. And that's more dangerous, okay? Because your nervous system has the evidence now. If I say I need rest, but I don't listen, nervous system, what it says? Me needing rest doesn't matter. Let's dismiss it. If I know something feels wrong, but I stay, nervous system registers, it doesn't matter if something feels wrong. We are someone who stays. If you know I know my truth, I can hear it, I feel it in my body, but I abandon it, right? So self-trust erodes through repeated self-betrayal. So every single time you listen to the signals, you don't follow through. That's when the challenge is starting. Okay. Now the beginning of the return is here. Okay. And as I was sharing, you are already in the process because you showed up today. You will never be able to change something you are not aware of. Why? Because you don't know that what's going on, right? So the deeper work that is happening, it's not you setting boundaries right now. It's not you saying no. It's not you giving yourself more rest even, because those are behaviors, and you cannot practice those behaviors if you cannot become someone who stays with themselves. Okay, so this is the gentle practice I'm going to guide you through in a moment, so that I can help you be with yourself even if just a little bit. Okay, now you don't need to fix yourself tonight. Trust that if you are here, you will get from the session exactly what you are meant to get from it, okay? You need to practice staying. So I will be guiding you through a gentle activation now. It's just 5 minutes long, so I specifically don't want to use music. You guys know, if you have been to my sessions, I use specific frequencies for these activations. For this one specifically, I didn't want any distractions, because the challenge in this 5 minutes, the question I want you to answer is, can I stay with myself and see what comes up? Can I stay with myself and honor my truth? Can I stay 5 minutes with myself? So you don't have to meditate, you don't have to do anything. All you need to do is follow my guidance, okay? So what I will gently invite you to do in a moment is to close your eyes and make sure you're in a comfortable position with your back straight, feet flat on the floor, okay? And all you need to do is allow yourself to stay with yourself, okay? Which might be difficult for some of you, but that's okay. So close your eyes, feet flat on the floor, follow my voice. All you need to do is follow my voice, okay? Now take a nice deep breath in and a long exhale out. Once again, deep breath in and a long exhale out. One more time, deep breath in and a long exhale out. Now gently feel the support you are sitting on. Feel your heart beating. Feel your chest rising. And now I want you to gently ask yourself, when was the last time you truly chose yourself? Just allow whatever comes to come. No judgment. When was the last time you truly chose yourself? Now, I invite you to notice in your mind's eye a version of you that needed someone to stay. Walk toward them. No fixing, no rescuing. Just sit beside them. Now, as you gently tap on your heart and your belly, I want you to say, I am here. I am listening. I am not living. Then ask, what do you need today? Receive. Don't analyze. Simply receive. What do you need today? Beautiful. Now, tapping again on your heart and on your belly, I want you to repeat, I can begin choosing myself one decision at a time. Again, say it like you mean it. I can begin choosing myself one decision at a time. Last time, with all the conviction you can gather, I can begin choosing myself one decision at a time. Beautiful. Now take another deep breath in and a long exhale out. Once again, deep breath in and a long exhale out. One more time, deep breath in and a long exhale out. Now gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can slowly come back and open your eyes. Welcome back. Now, if you feel like it, I want you to share in the chat your experience. If you manage to stay with yourself, even if it's just for a few minutes, if you manage to connect to yourself, if you manage to get a simple answer, a simple next step, because change doesn't happen putting all the bricks at once. That's not how you build a house. That's not how you build a foundation. You have to put each brick, one brick at a time, with patience, with kindness, with love. So I want you to give yourself that patience and kindness and love as you put the bricks back. Let me know if something changed for you. M says, it was nice. The question of what I need was really hard. I said, I don't know, a few times, then came up with God, self-love, and gentle exercise. Beautiful, M. Thank you for sticking to it. Beautiful. Natalie says, the first question hits me. I really didn't know the answer. That is okay. So I just want you to know that when no answer comes, it means that what you need right now is not more answers, but more presence, okay? Jen says, I felt one side of my body dropping. Beautiful, Jen. That's your body releasing some tension, releasing whatever it was holding on to. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So I just want you guys to know that every single one of you is getting their own unique response depending on where you are in the journey. And getting an answer or not getting an answer, it's equally important, okay? Because if you have been overriding yourself for years, okay, your body doesn't even know, oh, she's asking or he's asking me what I need. Weird. I haven't heard this question for so long. I don't even know. So I want you to take it with lightness, okay? Knowing that you are not stuck, that your system is waking up to learning a new way of being right now, and that is okay. Derry says, I feel calmer and clearer. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Derry. Okay, M says, this was helpful. Beautiful. And Sajni says, I couldn't sit still for long, but I do feel calm and a little fresh. Beautiful. Now, Sanji, again, when we haven't been able to sit with ourselves, to be with ourselves, that's very normal. So very important for you guys to not criticize yourself, okay? Because again, when you have been doing something on autopilot, ignoring your needs, ignoring your wants, ignoring your truth, ignoring your body's signals, your body doesn't naturally come back online and says, okay, let's go, let's change everything. Your body's like, oh, whoa, she's asking, he's asking, what do I need? I don't even know what I need. And slowly but surely, as you sit with yourselves, those answers will naturally emerge. Now, I want you to give yourself the same patience, kindness, and love as you would give to a child that's learning how to walk. Because what you are learning now, to not abandon yourself, it's actually a beautiful process that it's unfamiliar, okay? So when you have been abandoning yourself, your system expects for you to keep abandoning yourself. And now you have changed the script and you are looking and stopping, and your system is like, oh, whoa, this is new. We don't know this. However, your system is open to learning, okay? So trust your process, trust where you are. Now, I want you, as this session comes to an end, to think about one small way you could practice self-loyalty this week. It can be saying an honest thing when you normally hide the truth. It can be resting before exhaustion forces you into rest, okay? It can be asking for support. It can be honoring a feeling. It can be keeping a promise to yourself. Think in a way, what would be one way? One will be which way you could be doing this, okay? Now, awareness is not enough. Why? Because knowing and understanding this mentally, it's not difficult. You get it. I'm pretty sure that most of you got it. Everything I shared here clicked into place, right? The challenge is repeating it and teaching your nervous system how to accept it as your new truth, because the patterns are automatic and they live in the nervous system, not just in the mind. And if this session resonated with you, just want to make you aware that this is just an invitation. If it doesn't resonate with you, if this session helped you and it's enough for where you are right now, that's perfect. But if you feel like going deeper, I'm beautifully happy to invite you and guide you this Saturday at the Self-Loyalty Intensive, where we will be continuing to build on everything we learned today, okay? So I just want you to understand that self-loyalty is not about building a new house. You already have the house. We just want to put the bricks back, one choice at a time. So what's happening this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is we spend 2 hours together helping your nervous system to experience what it feels like when you stop leading yourself. So we are teaching it through experience, because that's how the nervous system learns, okay? So there are some specific things we are going to explore there that will beautifully click into place, and they will build on this session. We are going to explore the deeper roots of self-abandonment, guilt, people-pleasing, hyper-responsibility, rebuilding trust in your own needs, embodied self-honoring practices, which might be new for your nervous system. And because I mentioned this is an experience, you will get 3 transformational guided processes designed to help you begin creating a new relationship with yourself. Now, this is not about collecting more insight. You now have the insight. It's actually creating a new internal experience so that your nervous system can learn, oh, this is how we can actually live from now on, and it is safe to do so, okay? So if this resonates, you can check the link from the chat. This is happening Saturday, 8th of August. And for those of you who follow energy, it's the 8-8 portal, Lionsgate. So energy is amplified for change. So it's going to be a beautiful, energetically charged day that actually supports transformation. The investment is $49.99. Now, the beautiful thing is that if you cannot join live, you get unlimited replay access. So you not only get the live experience, but then you can review the session as many times as you need until you feel like, oh, I'm done, everything is integrated in my life and I can move on, right? And you also get an integration workbook because the work doesn't stop after Saturday's session. It actually begins after that. Okay, so I just want you to remember that every single time you choose yourself honestly, your nervous system learns something. It's not that the world is unsafe, because the world might be unsafe at times. It's just that you are no longer available and willing to disappear inside it. Okay, so I want you to remember the house. Okay, we found the missing bricks. You recognize them, and Saturday is where we begin rebuilding. We are teaching your nervous system how to rebuild and put the bricks back. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for playing full out. Thank you for your vulnerability, for your kindness, for your honesty. Very happy to have you. I hope you have a blessed evening. Thank you, Noel. I'm very glad it was resonant. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, CM. Glad it was amazing. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here and playing full out. Thank you, Em. God bless. Beautiful. Looking forward to seeing you again, guys. Take care. Have a blessed evening.